Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review of this past Thursday's episode of Supernatural on the CW, which is episode 8 of season 13 called The Scorpion and the Frog. And I really want to apologize for how late I am on this review, because this episode is probably my favorite of the season so far. And it's been a pretty solid, pretty fine season so far. I do think it's overall shaping up better than season 12. Which I didn't hate, but it was probably my least favorite of the show personally. Again, there's no bad Supernatural; it's just my personal least favorite. But yeah, the season's kind of shaping up fairly well the further it goes along, I think. And of course, this episode they take up this. I don't want to say they take up this demon on a deal, but they sort of go along with it because they're trying to look for Jack, of course, and he sort of has this spell that supposedly can track him and everything. So they could finally find him before some shit goes down. So they get involved in this whole heist deal with a guy named Bart, or a demon named Bartholomew, something like that. Played by, I think the actor's name is David Cubitt or something. He was on the first season of Helsing on Syfy, so that's kind of cool. We also have Richard Brake playing Luther. He's the guy guarding whatever Bart is trying to get out of this area. And Richard Brake, he's been in a lot of shows and movies, but he recently was in Rob Zombie's 31, which is a movie I have mixed feelings about, but he played a great role in that. Or he gave a good performance in that, I should say. He's a really creepy, psychopathic clown, called Doomhead. He is pretty good. So it's good to see him in this as well. And then you also have the introduction to a character named Alice, or Smash. You meet Smash and Grab. They're the people that Bart is having the Winchesters work with. And we'll talk more about Smash Alice in a second. Anyway, we'll talk about her in a second. We also have, I think, the backdoor pilot episode to Wayward Sisters coming up this next week as well. But yeah, like I said, I like this episode a lot. I thought Luther is a pretty interesting antagonist, and of course, until we find more about him towards the end of the episode, it turns out that he had made a deal with Bart before, and Bart has taken over the whole Crossroads Demon section since Crowley's been gone, since he started becoming a King of Hell and everything. But of course, Bart had screwed Luther over, and his son had died anyway. He drowned. And Luther, meanwhile, can't be killed if he's still on his own property. So I thought that was pretty interesting, the way that played out was a little more intense than I was expecting. And I thought, Bart, he eventually reared his ugly head as sort of the real antagonist of this story. And I thought he made for a good villain as well. I wouldn't have been surprised if he wasn't killed off. I wouldn't have been surprised if he was sort of like a recurring antagonist for the season. They could have done that if they wanted to. I thought John Cubitt did pretty well. And I really liked Alice. Again, we'll talk about her. Just one more thing I want to mention. And that was, Dean. This episode was really funny as well. It had a lot of, pretty funny bits to it, I think. With Dean, because of his blood, being to hell and back, literally, was supposed to guide them and get them into the safe, which... whatever's in there, and so his arm was literally going around like a compass, so that was kind of funny, just Jensen Ackles acting that out. Put my dog down there. Anyway, so that was funny, as well as when they get to the door, and it looks like Dean has to insert his hand into this sculpted monster mouth or something, whatever it is, and he's really nervous. He's prepping himself up, he's hyping himself up, trying to get himself into the zone. And Smash or Alice is just looking at him like, I liked her mannerisms in this. So that was all fun. And now let's actually talk about Smash. Her actual name is Alice, apparently. Now, I had seen some comments about her. People think she's just like another version of Charlie that they're bringing onto the show to make up for killing her off or something, because fans are still upset about Charlie not being around. I can definitely see their similarities. I'm not going to deny that they're there. Alice, she's great at cracking physical safes, whereas Charlie's talent, is hacking computers and everything like that. They're both sort of geeks, so I get it. They both sort of have like that. I don't know if I want to say goth, but sort of that outcast kind of look to them. But I'm not going to deny the similarities are there. But I also found Alice to be more like a self-serious character too. But her shell starts to crack open a little bit, and she shares those, nerve damage, energy drinks with Dean. They're supposed to have like an illegal amount of, caffeine in them. So I thought that was pretty nice as well. And like I said, I like her mannerisms, the way she looks at Dean when he's making a fool out of himself, or at the end where she does the whole, I don't know. I liked Alice, and I actually hope they bring. I don't know if they're going to keep calling her Smash. They'll probably just call her Alice. But I honestly hope they bring Alice back this season. I think the cast for Wayward Sisters is too big at this point, so I don't think they're just going to add her to that. But I really hope they bring her back onto the main show, Supernatural, and have her as like a reoccurring, supporting, maybe even main character at some point. Because it seemed like there's a little bit of a flicker between her and Dean. There's a little bit of a, there's a little something there, I think, especially when you hear Alice apparently calls him a pretty face. So seems like Dean's kind of girl, you could get into. I know the show has never been about like romance or love stories or anything like that, but I don't think it'd be a bad idea if Alice actually showed up and actually formed a relationship with Dean at some point down the road, because we haven't really seen that on the show much before, and it doesn't have to turn into a love triangle. Obviously, that'd be weird, but I think Dean deserves a long-term relationship, maybe for the rest of the series. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. But either way, I really liked her, and I do hope to see her again. She's been one of my favorite sort of new characters in a while, I think. So, yeah, I really liked her. Luther getting decapitated at the end by Bart was pretty surprising. I kind of figured he was going to die once he told the Winchesters what this really was about. And it turns out to be the bones that Bart was trying to get out of there, that could be burned so he would die. So he wanted to get that out of Luther's grasp. And Luther is off the property at that point, so he decapitates Luther. Once in a while the CW is able to do more brutal stuff like that, like on the Vampire Diaries originals. Once in a while I've seen hearts getting ripped out or heads getting knocked off, so once in a while I do things like that. So that was good, and I like, although they could have kept Bart around, I didn't mind him being killed there. I was worried about Alice, so good that she got out of there. But yeah, I just thought this was a really, really strong episode. Technically no main plot progress made because they lose the spell when Bart is burned, but I do like Dean, having hope at the end of the episode they'll keep working and they'll find something, like they always do. He's back into a more, I don't want to say, I don't want to say optimistic, but he's more, maybe optimistic, I guess, just because of all they've been through, and he's ready to sort of have hope in himself and what they're doing again. So I like that. So yeah, overall, really strong episode. Like I said, I enjoyed it a lot. I'm giving it at least a 9.2, maybe a 9.3 out of 10. My favorite of the season so far. So yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.